Mixed fortunes for two London teams in the Europa League. Arsenal qualifying for the quarterfinal despite losing to Olympiacos. They qualified 3-1 on aggregate. On the other side, Tottenham Hotspur dragged into extra time by Dinamo Zagreb after they conceded two goals. Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us. I'm Yemi Adebayo. The Europa League will get us talking tonight. Of course, 4 matches already concluded. For just about 2 minutes thereabout played in the other 4 matches. At the end of the day, we'll know the quarterfinalists in the Europa League. Of course, in the UEFA Champions League, we already know the 8 teams that have advanced to the quarterfinals. And tomorrow in Lyon, Switzerland, the draws will be conducted. We'll talk about all of that for you tonight. Also, on the domestic scene, some matches played in the Nigerian Professional Football League. We'll take some reactions from that game. We'll also look at the games played. 2 managerial casualties to talk about on the show today. We'll talk about Lila Sokoya, Kano Pilas. We'll talk about Ogenyi of Warri Wolves. Those 2 managers are no longer in the employ of the clubs they were associated with for the past 16 weeks in the league. A lot of us didn't think we'll have to wait for this long before we're seeing managerial casualties. But of course, as you know, 2 types of managers. One that has been sacked and the other waiting to be sacked. That's what we say in football. Once again, I want to say thank you for joining us on the show. Let's bring you into what we're doing today. Of course, I've already given you a quick rundown of what to expect on the show tonight. In case you're joining us for the first time, you're wondering how you can be a part of what we're doing on the show, you want to talk to us, you want to have your own say, especially on issues not getting enough talk time. This is what you need to do right there. That's it. Send us a mail, sports tonight at channelstv.com, Facebook, Channel 7 Sports. Then on Twitter, that's a verified handle. We talk about our channels_sports. Send in your tweets. Let's know what you feel about some of these issues and let's have your take on some of them. As a matter of fact, the eagerly anticipated game between AC Milan and Manchester United is currently going on. And at some point, we'll always revert. If there's something to tell you, that's what we'll do. Let me quickly introduce my partner in the Lagos studio with me tonight. Bolu Omoni joins me tonight. Bolu, thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah, actually, it's good being here and talk about Spurs, mixed fortunes. Spurs are in trouble, considered the second goal now in the extra time. And although they still have the advantage because if they get to score 1, then we'll have to score 2. But again, it's what it is in football. It happens every time. Remember the Juventus game in the Champions League. And now the game everyone or almost every football fan wants to see is possibly Zlatan versus Manchester United. Everyone is hoping let him get to play in this game. But overall, yesterday, the women's football, beautiful performance. I tell people, if you've not seen the women play, you still believe the old saying of girls know they play ball until you watch them play. I saw Robo Queens versus Rivers Danger yesterday and I'm like, wow, this is football. And overall, that's what we want. You know, if you can cover the game as a media personnel, and if you can see the clips and everything, you will know there's beauty in Nigeria. Which brings the old saying, the same thing I tell people all the time. Because the administration is bad, because the planning of the leagues are bad, that's the men and women, doesn't mean we don't have good players in Nigeria.
And just to buttress your point, we have clips of those games and like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we just allow you to make up your mind. Bolu has talked about FC Robo and Rivers Angels. You see the clips, then you make up your mind whether or not Bolu's comments are a bit exaggerated or whether or not it is true, everything that he has said about women's football. But that's not where we start. Today we start with the Nigerian Professional Football League. The matches played today, the consequence of those matches. The fallout. 2 managers have lost their job. They've parted ways with the clubs they've been handling. First, I want us to look at the results for today. We'll also double back to look at what happened yesterday because the results from yesterday is what has led to the casualties that has been announced today. But first, today, Thursday, Nigerian Professional Football League. Let's take a look at the results and give to you what happened in different places. There you have it on your screen. Plateau United defeated Sunshine Stars 3-1. Katsina United beat Rangers 2-0. Nasarawa United beat Dakada 3-0. Nasarawa United on top of the league. But a lot of people will quickly tell you, Enyimba has 4 matches. Rivers United, I think, have 1. So that's it. But Bolu, your thoughts? Plateau United Sunshine will be our future game. We'll see clips later on. But your thoughts on the matches played today? That's where we start.
To talk about the competition, just know that the top 6 teams are separated by 1 point.
Yeah.
That's an eye-opener for them. And the games today, Katina knew what they needed to do to get out of the relegation zone. And it was to defeat Rangers, who were top of the table. And in quick succession, like first 10 minutes, they were 2 goals up. And now they're out of relegation. The MFM have dropped down to that position. Same thing for Nasarawa United. They knew the only thing we needed to do was win our game and go to the top of the table. And the first 35 minutes, they scored 3 goals already. I think the games yesterday, the goals were dried up. I don't know, the goals were just not forthcoming. But today, it feels like the goals that were not scored yesterday, we have to score everything today. And in the games today, there were 9 goals in 3 games. And the 6 games yesterday, I think there were 9 goals in the 6 games yesterday. And today, just 3 games, 9 goals. One thing I know is, if you are talking about competition, it's the NPFL. Lose 1 game, you can drop down 7 places. Win 1 game, you can remember MFM when they went from 15th to 9th. They lost their game, they dropped to 16th. It means every point is very important in the NPFL. And with the games we saw today, that was the definition of that.
All right, so let's just see some pictures from Jos. Our Plateau United were able to beat Sunshine. We already told you, ended 3-1. We'll see those pictures. It will help us make up our mind, especially the things we talk about. There you have it. Bolu, let's walk our viewers through this. Plateau United, a team that we expected a lot from, recruited well, but it seems that they're gradually beginning to gel. It took them a while, and before they raised their head up, they were out of the major competition they recruited for. But now it appears that they're beginning to steady the ship.
Well, the good news for them is, despite the poor start, they're still not far from the top. They have 22 points. Yes, they're 9th on the table. Yeah. 22 points is just 5 points away from the top. You just need to win 2 games, and probably the 4 teams at the top lose 2 games, and you are back. But it's good. It's better to probably kick your season running anytime than to not kick your season running at all. Remember Man City in the Premier League, they were probably among the top teams. They started poorly amongst all of them. Then suddenly they picked up, and they at all, while others were probably messing up, they continue. So who knows, maybe that could be Plateau United's. At the point, City were out of the top 10.
Yeah.
So who knows, it could be Plateau United's form. But again, like you said earlier on, everybody keeps saying Enyimba have 4 games. And that 4 games, the fact that they are not far from the top. Enyimba will not lose 4 straight games with the MPFL. It's not in his lifetime. And they are 3 points away from the top. So
even with those 4 games?
Even with those 4 games. So you expect them to probably still win 2. I listened to a guy and he was like, well, Enyimba has 6, they are this on the table, but I'm sure by the end of the season, Enyimba will be champions. Seeing the table right now, almost everyone that follows the league will think, well, Enyimba are still champions, but again, it's still very far. Plateau United are coming up. Kano Pillars are still not so consistent. Kwara United and co. The only thing that will stop Enyimba from not winning the league as of now is if they fail to win those 4 games. And I don't think it will happen. Enyimba will not lose 4 straight games in the MPFL.
Okay. All right, let's quickly take a reaction from that game. When we're back from those reactions, we'll allow our partner on the show tonight to also join in. We'll have a discussion. I'm not going to introduce him yet. I want to take reactions from that game, from the Plateau United side and from Sunshine. We'll take that, come back for more. Sports Tonight.
This Sunshine team, I don't think there is any team that scored 3 goals against them. We scored, and in 45 minutes, we were able to do that. So we only know the amount of energy we use to get that result. So it's difficult. We want to take our time. On Sunday, we have another game. You understand? So that is why we want to slow the tempo and use the right moments to get results. But in the first half, we force to get it. But we don't need to do that. It's just like a waste of energy. And that is why we have to relax a little and play so that we get the right moment to attack. We get some moment we are not able to combat, that's all. And it's not compulsory you score all your chances. No, actually, you know, we have played midweek last week. We played weekend, and it's difficult. We need to rest some players, and Itodo has been under a long layoff since the corona period. He has been out of this team. We are bringing him back gradually. He played some 2 games back. We gave him 20 minutes. Now he was able to play 90 minutes. We were very, very happy about it.
All right, Abdul Makaba for Plateau United, singing the praise of his team while also acknowledging that Sunshine Stars are a very good team. All right, so let's quickly go to Uyo now and, of course, link up with a friend of the house, Promise Etim. He joins us as we discuss things happening in the world of sports. Promise, greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, good evening. Nice to be here. Good evening, Nigeria. Of course, lots of that is actually happening around the world of sport, and in particular, reference to the MPFL. So it's a real opportunity this evening to join you on the show.
All right, let's just dive straight into it. The match is played today. I want to get your thoughts before we go to the two managers who've lost their job. But your take, the matches played, the results, any surprises in those results, or the home teams winning their games?
I'm not particularly surprised by the results obtained today by the teams that played. Katsina United, as you understand, needed to relieve themselves of some pressure. And they did that in an emphatic way, beating Rangers International 2-0 in that one. Of course, that has taken them above off the relegation zone. And also the fact that Nassau United from Dakar FC 3-0. It's rather unfortunate that as at this time last year, Dakar FC were firing in all cylinders. In fact, they were the newest bride of the MPFL last season. But unfortunately for them, departure of very many players has not really helped them so far this season. And also the 3-1 defeat of Sunshine Stars away from home, Plateau United got the better of them in Jos. Excellent results, in my opinion. Abdul Maikaba has been under intense pressure. Not able to really build that team. A lot of people expected him. Previously he asked for 2 years to be able to put up a team that it will be very competitive and perhaps give the football fans in Jos that pride of place once again that, come on, they have a team that can definitely compete for the MPFL title any day and time. But they were knocked out of the continent at the continental stage, and Maikaba has a huge task now to really redeem his image as a manager, and also the fact that so much has been expended in this club. They have some of the best hands as regards personnel in the MPFL. So huge tax for him. He's been languishing in the lower ebb of the MPFL table right from the start of the campaign. But good to see him now. He's moved a place above the lower ebb to 9th position. Excellent day for him. And top notch for me is the fact that Plateau United have amassed, as of today, a goal difference of +7, which I think will be very key for them going forward. And also considering the fact that the league will be very competitive right when we get to the second half of the season.
Okay, thank you, Promise. All right, let's just move on the show. Bolu, let's talk about the Kano Pillars situation. They brought in a foreign tactician, and it looked like everything was going on well, but started hearing disturbing news. Now, Kano Pillars admitting that, okay, we've gotten the resignation letter of Lionel Sokoya, but of course we're going to look at the situation. And in the same breath, they were accusing him of negligence on some occasions. It's a situation that looked muddled up. But for us on this side, if we want to analyze, we just say that it appears that they've parted ways.
The most important thing is that I think media officers of MPFL clubs need to know their job sometimes. I got to a point I said I was not going to ask many of them questions anymore. When you ask 1-2 questions, the next thing you hear is talk to our team manager or talk to our GM. I'm like, dude, you are the media officer. There are some basic questions you should
be able to answer.
Before the game yesterday, it was like, okay, is it true your manager has I said, okay, initially there were reports I said it's a lie, that they want to focus on this game. No, you should tell us. We have the right to know. Else, if you don't tell people, they start fabricating stories, then you start coming out and hitting out at people. According to the coach, he said he was owed 5 months' salary, that total about 25,000, that they were interference with his team selections and all that.
That's his basic reason.
Yeah, then he came up with, they've not even given him, I think, work permit to work in Nigeria. And the French embassy told him, you are an illegal immigrant. And those are the major reasons why he had to step out. So we are waiting for the official report, because if Kano Pillars don't say anything, it means they agree that what he said is true. And if he's lying against them, they have to come out to defend themselves. But I don't want to think
To
it's
play the
90%.
devil's advocate, they say they're looking into the situation. So if they say they're looking at the situation, maybe that gives them a leeway, some sort, not to say anything for now.
For that, I hope they will end up saying something. That's another thing. Sometimes, okay, we will get back. I tell you, if NPFL officials, even LMC say we will, most of the time they don't do anything. That we will is just to push away the media. Okay, we will answer the question.
We'll answer the question.
We'll get
Let's
there
move
later
on.
on. Yeah.
Okay, let me bring Promise into the discussion. Promise, I don't know, do you think Kano Pillars have handled the situation well? I mean, that's a problem we have sometimes. Communication, when information is put out there, sometimes you are left to deduce, and sometimes, out of inferences, then you make your judgments. So, do you think this was handled well, and do you think there's a way back for Sokoya in all of this? Way back for Sokoya Bolu.
If he has come out to speak, it's almost impossible for him to get back again. It means probably there may have been some talks underneath. Maybe he's been complaining and okay, well, nothing is happening. Again,
even in
at
that
their
press
contract-
statement that you alluded to, there were some accusations.
Yeah, so what are the things in the contract? Those are probably part of the major things. It brings us back to what was said before the season started, the licensing regulations, if those things were followed. Remember, one of the things where there should be a certain amount, I think about 200 million in the account, at least we are sure for a certain number of months or probably a season, you can sort out both the coaches and the players' salary. If those things were followed, the issue of, I think, Sunshine started at the point, everyone talking about owing salary. At least, if you are talking about owing salary, which is wrong, probably it should be end of the season. But not
early
in
stages.
the first 15, 16 games. But again, still waiting for confirmation from Kano Pillars. They've agreed, okay, he has gone.
Sent in a resignation.
Yeah,
letter.
but what happens after? He has accused you of owing him 5 months' salary. He said you guys are the ones always in the local palace, took him out in his team. And so those are accusations. Are you defending yourself or you are pushing it under the rug? They have to tell us something apart from we are looking into it. Because I'm sure this is not... He didn't just come out and decide to resign. There would have been talks before now. Are you guys paying me when I pay? And another thing is, if you are bringing someone from the abroad to coach here, you have to find a way to get him work permit. Because like the report says, he's an illegal immigrant. So you have to get him work permit.
Okay.
That's another thing.
But let's talk about another situation. I read some comments online. I'm not going to say the things that I read, but I find it wasn't. If it happened that way, it wasn't pretty. But I mean, let's take the one that everybody knows. Again, not the coach of. And it happened immediately after yesterday's game. They played a draw with Jigawa Golden Stars, and we hear he's been relieved of his duties from that immediately after that game. Maybe he had been warned. Maybe he had been told before. I don't know. But in this case, you can't really accuse the club of not handling it well. I only have problems with some of the stories that I heard, which I'd like to substantiate before I come out to say it. But some of those things I heard weren't good. But in this case, you can't really accuse Warri Wolves of not handling it well.
It's good, like we've talked about when MFM discussion. If you are letting go of a manager,
Straight
either
in.
it makes sense, it doesn't make sense for whatever. Tuchel was not sacked for footballing reason. Ancelotti was not sacked for footballing reason at Napoli, but I said, Tuchel appeared, Ancelotti.
At Napoli.
At least you know you are sacking him.
Straight
And
away.
There should be a contract, so fulfill what's in the contract.
That's
and
all.
you move on. So whatever happens after can be sorted out. But I remember, I think we were both here at the start of the season when Ogene said, compared to Arsenal's Arsene Wenger's unbeaten squad, that they want to go unbeaten for the season and win the league and everything. But again, it's good to make or to say what you want before the fight starts, because when the fight starts, it will be difficult to talk. But let's see what happens. It's strange that Mosizeto has really been quiet on this issue.
Well, there's some statement attributed to him, and if I can paraphrase, there are a lot of investments in the club, and the results do not justify the huge investment, and that is why there has to.
I think Abia
has to
Warriors
pass ways.
showed the importance of patience with manager this season.
Okay. All right, let's go on break. We'll come back to talk about it. Interesting times in the Nigeria Professional Football League. We'll come back to talk about what's happening in the Europa League, and hopefully we'll be able to have Promise 18 join in the discussion. All right, welcome back. Let's quickly go to the Europa League. He's not looking good for Spurs right now. 120th minute. Any moment the game might be over. They've conceded another goal. So it's Dinamo Zagreb 3, Spurs yet to score. And as you have it on screen, that's the aggregate score. If he ends this way, and the game is going to end in a couple of minutes, he ends this way, Tottenham, goodbye.
I'm sure Mourinho is trending right now on Twitter.
He is.
Mislav scored the 3 goals.
He's coming for a lot of criticisms, the style of football.
And they got to a point, Sport looked to be winning. Harry Kane, Gareth Bale, everyone scoring from all cylinders. We talked off air that Daniel Levy will be laughing right now because if you want Harry Kane now, you are going to pay through your nose. But going out of the Europa League will probably be a dent. One of their best chances to get back to Champions League is Europa League because the fight for top 4 now is very, very tough. It depends on what the guys at the top will do. That United, Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea, they still have better chance than Spurs. Now that is,
and you have to throw West Ham and Everton into the mix as well.
Now he has a tough task. I'm sure if you go social media now, Mourinho is definitely trending.
Okay, we leave it at that. We want to save that for the later part of the show. We just had to bring that to you. All right, Bolu, let's pick it up from where we left off. Your final word on Evans, again, I think this one is safe to say they've parted ways. You may not like some things, but they own the club, they run the club, they make their decision. This one wasn't messy.
Well, again, whoever they decide to get, sometimes new manager adrenaline. Remember Ole Gunnar Solskjaer United, I think about 12 games unbeaten, and it turned out, that's what I'm telling some Chelsea fans, just calm down.
Calm down.
13 games now, who knows what can happen. So maybe it could help. What was they've been swimming in relegation water since I think match day 2 or 3, and they're still there. I think they're 18th or 19th
one of the reasons
so
for this
who knows?
decision.
A new manager may come in and turn the tide around for them. Let's wait and see.
Okay, Promise is back with us. Promise, let's just get you straight into the discussion. You've heard us talk about the 2 managers that have been let go. And as you know already, 2 types of managers, the one that has been sacked and the one that is waiting to be sacked. But your reaction to the handling, that's what we're particular about, of the 2 situations, of the scenarios that led to the sacking of those 2 managers.
Well, we've had a series of stories as regards the sacking of these 2 managers. Let me begin with the one of Kano Pillars. There are several stories out there that the gentleman didn't have money or didn't have a work permit. I mean, last season, 2 seasons ago, and some part of last season, we had a certain coach with Hadland FC, Mehmet Tofan, who never had an opportunity to sit on the bench with issues of work permits also in the fall. But he was training with the team. He actually trained the team, but on match days, he didn't have the opportunity to sit or maybe have direct contact with the players on the bench. I mean, these are things that naturally should not happen. I think our clubs should do better in this direction. And it's really embarrassing that you have a contract you signed with the coach for $5,000 monthly payments, and for 5 months he's been working. No salary has been paid, and it's really embarrassing how the $25,000 is quoted as saying that Kano Pillars are actually owing him. I think there's a disconnect here. If a club has a budgetary provision, and a club that should be run professionally should do things professionally also. Whatever is the agreement, the terms of agreement with whosoever, either it's a player or maybe the managerial capacity. A laborer deserves his wages. Of course, I'm also knowing that he's a foreigner. Lots will be required at the end of the day. So I think it's really embarrassing on the part of the club that this has really been brought to the public space. Really embarrassing for the club. And I just wish they can sort this out without unnecessary issues. But ultimately, I think, in my opinion, that Kano Pillars should have handled this better. Maybe by way of negotiating with the coach, or perhaps trying as much as they can to make sure that they get his money paid on time. Of course, don't forget that the coach Lionel previously worked with a Cameroonian side. He was also in Tanzania, and he was in Zambia before he came to Kano Pillars. So the experiences he must have gathered in those places may probably not be what was meted out to him here in Nigeria. So I think we can do better. The administrators of football can generally do better when we have issues of this magnitude.
Okay, all right. So let's just move on. Thanks for your input. Let's talk women's football quickly. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. We show some clips, then we take some reactions. FC Robo and Rivers Angels. FC Robo beating Rivers Angels 2-1. Pictures we promised to show you earlier, just for you to make up your mind whether Bolu's views on women's football is exaggerated. But trust me, just looking at these ladies, forget about all the other things, just the game as it is played, you know that if given a bigger stage, these ladies are up to the task. But he ended 2-1 in favor of FC Robo. Let's take reactions from both sides, Robo Queens and, of course, Rivers Angels.
Angels is a good side. You can't take that away from them. But we planned it that first half, if we score, it's all over. And we scored, and it's all over. They came back. You need to give your opponent some respect. They came back in the second half. They tried, and they scored. What else? Or did they score? The referee disallowed? No. It's our game plan. First half, go on them, be aggressive. The goal you get, if you are able to get 2 goals, they can't score 2 goals in second half. And that's the game. That was the same team we used against Nasarawa at Nasarawa. But something went wrong. I got to change the game. But the guys called me, my attention to something like, let me use that team against Nasarawa, against Rivers. Because Nasarawa, Rivers, they are all big teams. And I've been making that mistake for a very long time, trying to make sure everybody feels the game. But today, I have to go back to the first game and play. And that was what happened.
Beating Rivers Angel, I'll say it has always been a long dream. I've always wanted to play against the best team in Nigeria and prove myself and prove the team worthy. So I think I'm very, very grateful. The coach only made us to understand that Rivers Angel is a big team. And if we want to be the big team, we just have to come out and be aggressive and be strong, extremely strong, and just try to get our chances at the early stage, and that was it.
All right, that's its reactions from. So, Bolu, your reaction to their reaction?
Well, I saw Emmanuel Saon's animation. You know,
yeah.
The plan was, let's try and score 2 goals.
Yeah.
Get 2 early goals. That would be difficult for Rivers Angels to score 2 back. And remember, that was Rivers Angels' first loss so far this season. And from the way they played, you will know why they've been unbeaten so far in the league. Like I said earlier, Robo were lucky. They could have considered a goal late on in the game, but the shot went over the bar. But overall performance, it felt like I saw a senior colleague was saying on the field that he's now seen women's football in a very long time. That, is it always this interesting that you'll probably never miss either Dream Star game or Robo that every Wednesday would have to be going? It means he also saw something interesting. I was watching the game and I'm like, this is what we want. Hopefully they can get the same traction like the men. Yes, we want more, much more, not just seeing clips. We want to watch their game too on TV. There's nothing wrong if we can see the women's football on the NPFL TV app too. So long it's about the growth of everyone, no matter what, everyone is under the NFF. So there's nothing wrong in putting the games on TV. So people can, many people also try to cover the women's game. But some, okay, how do I go to stadium? But if you can watch it on the app, overall, Rivers Angels, they played like a team that really want to win the league. Watch out for those girls. If they don't win the league later on, whoever wins the league will be well deserving. Remember, so far, Bayelsa Abedul, I think they've dropped points just once or twice. They're just 4 points ahead of Rivers, so it means they are still not far. Those 2 teams, like I've said over time, I'm waiting for when they will play their games, home and away. Whoever probably LG wins 4 points or 6 points will end up winning the league between those 2 teams.
All right, that's it. So we leave the women's league and talk about other things. Promise Etim is still with us. Promise the biggest piece of news now as we speak, is that Tottenham Hotspur have crashed out of the Europa League. Did you see this coming?
Well, I think Jose Mourinho is under intense pressure. He would have loved to do better on the night, but being battered 3-0 by Dynamo Zagreb, I think it's not really a good result for Mourinho. And knowing that he has a tough battle in the Premier League to try as much as he can to enter the top 4. I think it's pretty difficult situation now for Tottenham Hotspur going forward.
Do you think he will get sacked?
You mean Mourinho to get sacked?
Do you think this will make Daniel Levy think of sacking him?
Well, I think he was given a realistic target before the start of the campaign. And Mourinho needs to really look forward to the final round of matches in the Premier League to get something really out of this season for Tottenham. Apart from that, I think he may be given another opportunity because he came in at a time that Tottenham really needed some resurgence. But ultimately, he's been able to do a great job, though he's been knocked out of the European competition this evening.
I promise, Tim, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully, we get to do this another time.
Thank you.
All right, so that's our friend Promise Etim, all the way from Uyo. All right, Bolu, I don't know. I'm tempted to leave every other thing and talk about this, but if you're Daniel Levy, Promise told us Daniel Levy is a reasonable man, even though a lot of people feel this man is, silent killer, doesn't make a lot of noise, he just comes at you. I mean, I like I said, I think it's reasonable. Do you think you will want to sack Jose Mourinho?
Well,
Or has Jose Mourinho failed? Let's start from there.
the question is, first question is, who are the available managers now? Although since they went for a Mourinho, initially you think someone like Allegri is not the type of manager they would want. But going for a Mourinho, Allegri won't be far away because they literally play almost the same style, more of solid defensively than just pick you on the
Pragmatic,
break. But for Mourinho
They
is
brought him in
to win.
No
matter
and
what.
he's not winning.
They don't mind even if he wins the Carabao Cup. But let's see what happens in the Carabao Cup final first. But again, Levy is, like you rightly said, he doesn't speak to the media.
He won't say anything.
You just see a report, or say Mourinho sacked, Mourinho appointed and everything. But again, their hope will still be the season is not over. Mathematically, they can still make the top four. So probably they will
can
wait
still
and
end the
see.
season with a trophy.
And remember, I gave them a bit of hope after Pochettino's poor ending. Came in, steadied the ship for them, then started the Premier League in a not so good manner, but they picked up sort of. So let's see what happens to the end of the season. But believe me, if they don't finish the top four, they lose the final, everything, who knows? Levy, you may just say another report, but I think the way Levy does his own appointment is he has a backup plan. If you sack Mourinho today, someone else was coming in either that day or the following morning. So he probably will be talking to someone else already. If it doesn't work well, you will hear a media report of Levy trusts to say Mourinho to turn. But if he gets someone else, they will still sack managers this season. Remember, Ronald Koeman may be sacked from Barcelona. Because all the presidential candidates said they don't want him for next season, blah, blah, blah. If they sack him, who knows? It may be the next one. So he may wait till the end of the season and see what happens probably by May. If things turn around, you can decide to give him one more chance.
I need to stop myself from. I have a feeling somebody's already on speed dial. My thoughts. I have a feeling somebody's already on speed dial. Negotiations currently going on. But that's football. Like we said, two types of managers, the one that's been sacked, the one that is waiting to be sacked. Let's go to the games currently going on in the Europa League. The eagerly anticipated game between AC Milan and Manchester United. Let's see what's going on. You can also go back to some of the ones that have been played already. Last time I checked, Rangers have gone a goal down. Rangers have two players who are with the Super Eagles, Leon Balogun, Joe Aribo. It's going to be interesting to see them. Villarreal also in action.
They are leading Chukwueze with the assist.
Oh, very good.
I think it's not
they won the
good
first
to
leg
pray-
2-0.
It's not good to pray for players to get injured. But I think the injury has helped Chukwueze. Remember, before the injury, he seldom start games.
Yeah.
There were complaints that Real Madrid had to take Kubo away from there, that it seems this guy doesn't want him. But suddenly Chukwueze got back from injury and he's been starting almost every game. So, well, maybe the injury was good news for him. And we created the goal for the first goal. They're leading now. We do it. Well, for what happened to Spurs, you can't predict anything for now in Europa. But that's what we want, the unpredictability. Not that you can easily say Spurs are through, Villarreal are through. So it's going on well so far, but the much anticipated game is still goalless. But if it ends like this, it means United are also out. So whatever happens today, United must score. They have a chance. They have to score to have a chance of getting to the next round.
All right, so let's go on and talk about the UEFA Champions League. Probably we'll get you the results, the live results later on. UEFA Champions League, tomorrow is D-Day, draws to be made in Lyon, Switzerland. Bolu, it's going to be interesting. 3 teams from England. I don't know if you can say that's a powerhouse. 2 teams from Germany, then 1 from Spain, 1 from Portugal, and 1 from France. Interesting thing is that no protections now.
No way.
Chelsea
Anybody can play
the
anybody.
draws can head and Chelsea will be facing Liverpool. You can have the draws like you have Bayern and Dortmund. So no protections. You can play anybody. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And is there anything you're anticipating? By the way, these are the teams that have qualified for the quarterfinals. Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, FC Porto. So, I mean,
looking at this list here, I just seeing Champions League trophies everywhere.
littered
Bayern Munich,
everywhere.
6,
Apart from PSG.
Dortmund, I think 2, Porto 2, Man City nothing, PSG nothing. And
Those two.
they're
Those
literally the probably powerhouse in terms of money amongst everyone here. But aside that, Real Madrid 13, Chelsea 1. Everyone here aside the
aside the money bags.
The money bags have won the Champions, and both of them you can never underrate them. Porto may be the underdog among these guys, but remember they were underdogs in 2004 until they end up winning the title. So you can't underrate any team that gets to the quarterfinal. Juventus did that, and now they are out of the tournament. For Real Madrid, I tell people the 3 peats, especially the last 2, they were not so convincing.
Yeah.
But they just know how to win. Against Atalanta, people thought, well, Atalanta scoring team, high score. The only goal they scored was a well-planned training routine free kick. They probably could not have scored another goal against Real Madrid. So you can't predict them. Bayern Munich firing on all cylinders. There's a certain Lewandowski now. I think you have to change his name. Scoring anywhere. And it's interesting. Nobody wants to play anybody now. You're thinking, I don't want to play these guys. And I tell people, if you think Porto will be a walkover, ask Juventus. It means they are here for a reason. They were not given a free pass to the quarterfinal. And let's see, by this time tomorrow, everyone will know if you'll be smiling, I love my fixture, or you'll be crying. But the same Liverpool people are saying are poor. They are poor in the Premier League at Anfield. Now they are not playing at Anfield. They won home and away at Budapest. So you can't underrate anybody for now. You can say Porto are the weakest link there. But again, if you meet them on their good day and your bad day, you'll probably go and join Juventus.
Curtains for you. Okay, so that's it for the draws. It's going to be interesting. Of course, we'll be here tomorrow to talk about the draws, to see what anybody can face. At this stage, that's what's going to happen. Teams from the same federation might just play each other. All right. So before, we're going to end with the Europa League, but before we do that, let's talk about 2 things very important. Second Grand Slam of the year, Wimbledon. The organizers are thinking of scrapping the famous queues as part of measures to curtail what was going on as far as COVID-19. As part of they're thinking of measures to ensure that look, we didn't have this thing last year. We're going to have it this year, but we also have to be very careful.
I don't think any Grand Slam will be cancelled this year. After what happened in Australia, that was an eye-opener. And again, I think we said here that something can be done here. How did you guys make it work? And the Wimbledon with the dressing, the tradition, everything. Last year, many people missed. Some person will tell Wimbledon is the biggest Grand Slam, or the Americans will tell you the US Open. So that's the competition even between the Grand Slams. And they are looking at ways to make sure we have to host this event. And probably we actually missed Wimbledon last year. If for nothing, the all whites are fair and everything. So they're looking for ways that, okay, let's cut out this, let's cut out this. So long the event, I'm sure the players will not mind.
Yeah.
They don't mind any, aside the fun and playing, having a Grand Slam, adding it to your CV. The money is also very good. So
very attractive.
They don't mind whatever happens.
Whatever
Let's
measures.
just have these games. And even qualifying for Wimbledon alone, it's a different ball game entirely. Getting a wild card means you are probably a hero in the courts, and for whatever reason you can't make the rankings and everything. So everyone wants the Wimbledon. We want all the 4 Grand Slams this year.
Yep.
And if they tell you no queue, you have to obey. If they tell you don't bring 1 or 2 persons, you have to obey. So long this game happens, so long we can watch, so long they can make their money and everyone wins at the end, I think the event should hold.
All right, so you're not going to see things like this. You're not going to see this. That's what the organizers want, so that the measures will be put in place, so that we won't have a situation where it becomes a super spreader. All right, let's move on and talk about the Olympics. Let's talk about Russia. Russia they've been in the news for the wrong reasons, but now we hear 10 Russians will compete in Tokyo. Tokyo Olympics under the neutral flag. It's the issues about the ban and everything. Russia tried its best, went to cars, did everything, but as far as athletics goes, 10, and those 10, you're not singing your anthem, you're not using your national colors, but we allow you with the neutral flag.
If the 10 of them win gold medals, it's Olympic anthem they will play because they are going as independent nation. But I'm sure they will not mind.
But after this, for us journalists, it's going to be difficult because you're still going to say they are Russians.
Yeah. Who will? Okay, for example, let's say Segun Torala wins Olympic gold medal and is representing
And Nigeria
an
is having
independent
issues.
nation. I will call Nigeria. I
Is
would have called
Nigeria-
Nigeria before remembering. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But again, the players will know they are Russians.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they won't mind. They will prefer, okay, let me still compete. And you know, all the Russians that will be competing at the Olympic Games, they've been scrutinized and over scrutinized for them to go. Why? Because what your state or your country did, those in charge of the local organizing committee of the country did not help.
Yeah.
And they should count themselves lucky for being part of the few
Being
that
allowed,
represent
yeah.
that at least you're a Russian and competing at the Olympic Games. I think it's something big for them. They will probably strive harder to win title. At least I'm the only Russian to win
And
medals
for that,
at the 2020
the scrutiny is double.
Yep.
Scrutiny is double. They must have all the doping issues.
Believe me,
They must have sorted it
while
out
the events will be on, if they probably set any world record, they're going for another test
immediately.
to be very sure. And they won't mind let me just compete and enjoy this event. And at the end of the day, maybe win a gold medal.
All right. Okay, so that's it. We're about to cross the finish line, but we won't do that until we talk about the Europa League for a minute. Thereabout. Bolu talked about this earlier. Villarreal leading 2-0 right now. Young Boys and Ajax leading. And let me look for Rangers. Not looking good after 43 minutes. They're still trailing. And if he ends his way, they'll be out.
We've seen stranger results. Remember the last round, Ofena playing 3-3 away, then losing at home. So football is, yes, you can make predictions and everything. I remember some friends would tell me that, Bolu, you're an analyst, you can give us predictions for betting. I said,
you're not God.
joking.
You're not God.
It's not the same thing because we've seen results that you can easily say walkover. But again, after 90 minutes, what happens on the day? Who comes out top?
43 minutes at San Siro. AC Milan, Manchester United. Still goalless. If he ends this way, another
out.
English team
Out.
is out.
You can't call it even a decline because if three of them can progress to the quarterfinal, and the unfortunate part is three of them can even lose in the quarterfinals. But again, I tell people I prefer post-match than pre-match because pre-match, you still be looking at possibilities. Post-match, you talk about what you can see.
Okay.
And United need to score. They have to score. Even if they will draw. If they play 4-4, 3-3 there, but if it ends goalless like this, well, I think Ole can say another goodbye to a trophy.
Okay. Sign a new deal. So it's safe. Bole, I want to thank you for your time on the show. I really wish we had more time, but this is how we have to wrap things up today.
Yeah, I told you being here, and again, I want United out.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say that.
Some end already. All right. I want to say thank you to you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We'll be back here again tomorrow. It's going to be the last edition of the show for the week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.